Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2025 BMW M3 competition. Huge shout out to 704 Exotics for providing the sedan for me today. Take a look at their website. They're always getting in some very cool, pretty much brand new inventory. That link is down in the description. So this M3 competition is finished off in an individual color. This is Laguna Seca Blue, and the competition models start around $86,000. Now this is powered by the 3-liter twin-turbo inline-6. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 523 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this nearly 4,000-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in BMW's claimed 3.4 seconds. We have seen times under 3 seconds for this model. Top speed is 180 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons. You'll expect to see 16 miles per gallon in the city and 23 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 112.5 inches. Its overall length is 189.1. It has a width of 74.3, a height of 56.6, and its ground clearance measures in at 4.6 inches. Now, as you've been able to tell with that exterior walk around, this model has a lot of upgraded carbon fiber accents. So we'll start up front with the hood, where there's large inlets on the inside there, really nice deep lines and edges that give it a great look. Fitment is also perfect for this model. The kidney grille is also finished off in carbon fiber, where this also has the forward-facing camera, the sensor, and still retains all of the parking sensors for all of the tech features. And then you'll notice the lower front lip is all carbon fiber along with those louvers on both sides. And then for the rest of the front end, really nice design with all of the lines and edges, and then the dark housing for the LEDs, which blend in nicely. Now this model also has an aftermarket set of wheels. These are HRE wheels, and it's on a set of coilovers, so it is lowered, of course. Still retains the M Sport brakes, which are finished off in a dark blue there. Now this does have a gloss black for the lower side skirt. It's also on the M3 comp badge, and then it has carbon fiber for the mirror caps. These are power folding with the turn signal and the camera. There's gloss black for the window trim, and then carbon fiber for the roof. And then as we take a step back, definitely has a great design to it, especially with the lines in the lower section of the door and then a few on the rear fender. Now as we work our way to the back, this has a pretty large carbon fiber spoiler. There's a backup camera, LEDs for all the lighting, and then the entire bumper is finished off in carbon fiber. And this has the quad tip dual exhaust with a light right in the middle of that diffuser. Now you can use the key fob to remote start this. You can also use the key fob or the control underneath to gain access to the cargo space. Where this has a good bit of space, there's a storage net and then a cubby on the other side. No storage underneath the floor, but you can pull on these levers and fold down the back seats to get a little bit more space. And then there's 2 buttons up top where you can close the trunk or lock the vehicle. Now, if you do lock it, you have proximity door handles on all 4 handles there. And then this interior is very nice with the exterior. Having the white here, there's brushed aluminum, interior lighting, Harman Kardon for the audio, and a storage down below. And then a great design for these seats. Now at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. You have vents in the middle, temperature adjustments, some auxiliaries too. And then at my height, I have maybe an inch or so of headroom. So I could ride around town, be very comfortable sitting in the back. You also have the middle seat that folds down. You could use that as an armrest if you needed, or if you had some longer items that you needed to put through. And then you have a large rear window on that door, so you can easily see around that pillar. Now up front, this has memory seating adjustments, and all of your controls are laid out very nicely. There's even a lot more storage down below. And this model also has window tint to give it a great look. And then of course, we have the optional carbon fiber bucket seats, which are a fantastic design. They have automatic controls down on the side. It's not all that hard to get into. It's definitely a really good option for this car. Now, once inside, this has a solid leather steering wheel with a flat bottom design to it. Lots of carbon fiber accents too. But let's start this up and take a listen to how the M3 sounds. And coming back to the gauge cluster, on the left side, there's miles per hour and fuel. On the right side, there's tach and engine temperature. And then you can go through some more info using this button on the right side of the steering wheel. So there's a lot of content that you can scroll through, from daily driving to some performance information, just depending on the info that you need to see for the day. You even have a reduced view as well. And then you can also go into the head-up display, where you have a few different settings that you can go through within that. Also on the right side, there's volume tuning, Bluetooth and voice commands, carbon fiber for the paddle shifters, there's M1 and M2, and then all the cruise control settings on the left. Now to the left of the steering wheel, there's storage down below along with the headlight adjustments, one air vent, and then with the infotainment system, you have a lot to go through, and everything in the lower section is fixed, making it easier to get into, and there's also the shortcuts down below, so you don't have to use it as a touchscreen system. Now you can go through all these icons just depending on what you need to see and monitor. You can also get into the home screen here and swipe through all this information. It is customizable as well, so that way you can set that up as needed. You can get into your climates, your navigation and music, and then with these carbon seats, they are heated. You have a heated steering wheel and there's temperature adjustments. Now there's even more carbon fiber for all the interior trim accents. You have air vents underneath that, volume tuning and defrosters. And then underneath this carbon lid, there's wireless charging, cup holders and auxiliaries. And then you also have these shortcuts. So like I said, you don't have to use it as a touchscreen system. And then to put this into reverse, simply push the shifter to the left and forwards. And now you have the 360 view, automatic parking, backup assistance, and you have no shortage of visibility issues around the entire vehicle. There's also a shortcut down below to pull up the forward-facing camera, which is nice. Now there's drive and sport mode, so you can shift using the shifter or the paddles. And then there's park and the transmission shifts just behind that. Now there's also traction control, parking sensors, engine start stop. And then when you go to M mode, you can go between road and sport. So that is how you can change the gauge cluster and the head-up display to have some more performance-oriented information in front of you. There's also setup, and this is how you can get into M1 and M2 and customize all of these as needed. So you can quickly go through all of this just depending on how you want the vehicle to be set up. There's exhaust note, auto hold, and the e-brake. You have a little bit of storage with an auxiliary in the armrest and a locking glove box. And then garage door buttons up top and dome lights. And then with the carbon roof, of course, that is going to be fixed, where you have some nice materials for the headliner, and then you can easily see over both shoulders. As we set up behind the wheel now for the M3 competition, we do get to drive a lot of the M3 models, and it's always cool to be able to showcase the different options that you can get with this model. And this is a first with all the exterior modifications that you've seen. We've been able to drive them with the carbon seats. I have filmed this color before in the past, not a color that you come across all that often. This is a beautiful spec. If I were to buy one, I think this is the way I would go, with this exterior and the interior seats. And then this one is tastefully modded with all of the carbon fiber. I don't think it's too much. I think it looks really good for this model in general. Now, the M3 is also a sedan that might be coming to our channel shortly, so stay tuned for that. This is definitely the ultimate dad sedan because you can fit a car seat in the back. You can have a very performance-oriented sedan that's also family-friendly, so you can drive around with your family in this and then have a good bit of performance to make this. It's basically a track weapon for the streets. It's also very comfortable. Now this model has a completely new suspension with the coilovers. It seems to ride very nice, as you would expect, especially with a car like this. You're putting on a very nice set of aftermarket suspension, and it seems to be super smooth, and this car handles well around turns. It's a very nice place to be. You also have the option of going with a manual for this sedan if you would like to. Now that's only going to be rear wheel drive, so if you get the competition, all you have is the 8-speed. However, with the 8-speed automatic, you also have the adjustments behind the shifter here. So whether you're using it in the normal driving setting or you're using the paddle shifters, this vehicle is going to dynamically change. So you really won't get bored driving this, and you can cater it to the type of driving that you were doing. So right now, slow speeds, I'm in some traffic right now. If I put it in setting 1, we're gonna have some smoother shifts. It's going to be more comfortable for this situation. If I bump it up to setting 3, even in the normal driving setting, it's going to raise the RPM slightly, let you rev out the gears a little bit more, and you're going to have very crisp and quick shifts. So it's really neat just depending on how you're driving. It's basically a really good all-in-one sedan that will give you plenty of options, so you are not going to get bored. And as we get into second gear here, sounds good too. I wish it was louder, but obviously you can change that with an exhaust and other modifications. So this has a pretty big following with the platform and modifications that you can also do under the hood as well. And we are still in Sport Plus second gear. Here we go. And just a mild acceleration. We have been able to take the M3 competition to the mountains. So take a look at that video where we got to rip on it a good bit and experience the power. There's really no negatives to this vehicle when you are having some spirited driving fun. It is a blast to drive, and I'm a manual type of person, but it's hard to argue with the competition here, and with how quick the shifts are, it's a blast to drive even without 3 pedals. But it's awesome that BMW does give you the option of going with 3 pedals, which is a phenomenal transmission for the M3 as well. I also wanted to touch base on something I haven't talked about before. When you have it in the sport mode setting, you can still actually go through all of this information on the left side and choose what you would like to see, and you can also adjust the head-up display. So while you have a different gauge cluster setting, it is nice that you can still have some info on that left side. Maybe you want some daily driving information to see on that far left. But it didn't even know that we took that turn. And of course, with the carbon fiber bucket seats, they are going to hold you very well. Obviously, depending on your body type, will depend on if you are comfortable in these seats or not. But the M vehicles that we've had that had the carbon seats, super comfortable in my opinion. I would absolutely spec this car with them for my style and for what I like. One of the best sport seats in a stock vehicle that I've seen without going to an aftermarket seat. I think it's a really good option. But in general, M3, it's a sedan at the end of the day, so it's a practical sedan to drive around. This particular model just happens to be track focused and have a lot of power. So if you're looking for an exciting daily driving vehicle, you really can't go wrong with this. With all the options, the way that you can spec this, there's so many different ways that you can go, and that's why we always love showing the different specs that these cars have. So basically the ultimate family sedan if you are looking for practicality and performance. So let's give it one last acceleration as we merge into traffic here. And that is going to wrap it up for the BMW M3 competition. Once again, huge shout out to 704 Exotics for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads, and I will see you all in the next video.